You are about to watch a new segment on my show called Thriller Thursdays. So it's kind of just me talking about, in my very unresearched way, true crime, murders, maybe even movies. Like, we'll see how this goes, but it's just my platform and my space to talk about like the thing I love the most: murder, mystery, mayhem. You know what I mean? Thrillers, serial killers, slasher film, stuff like that. So before you get into that, I just want to let you know that I am actually doing a giveaway. So I am going to be giving away a mystery box of makeup, skincare, accessories, just some of my favorite things that's valued over $200, which, coming out of my own pocket. But in order to win, you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then also subscribe to my or follow me on Instagram. And then in 2 weeks, let's see, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, yeah, let's say 2 weeks, I'm going to be picking a winner. And also included in that mystery box, it's going to be an opportunity for me to do your makeup for free. So I am a freelance makeup artist, so I am gonna be giving away also my services. And that could be for like spooky makeup, that not on Halloween though, because girl, I'm gonna be busy, but spooky makeup, event makeup, bridal makeup, whatever. So again, if you want to win the mystery box and also my services, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Instagram. All the information is going to be down below, and in 2 weeks I will be picking a winner. Okay, so get ready for the thriller, chilling story coming up. Bye. Okay, yeah, his name was Xavier, and this was in the beautiful town of France called, I don't even know how to pronounce it. No, Nantes or something. Anyways, this was an aristocratic family. Javier or Xavier. Is that the same name? Anyways, Javier. No, okay. Xavier came from a long line of counts. So, like Count Chocula, Count Dracula. Like, he was a count. He was an aristocrat. So his family was wealthy. His family was, they were notable aristocrats, you know what I mean? So he married Inez or something. Yeah, Inez. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I'm sorry if I just suck at pronouncing the names. He married Inez, and they were together as youths, but then they ended up breaking up because he wanted to, do the whole thing and live his life and blah, 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 blah. So he wasn't able so he didn't stay with her. And then years later, they reconnected, and he found that she was pregnant with another man's child. So instead of with another man's child, so he ended up marrying her anyway because he loved her. And during this time, it was totally unprecedented to marry a woman who's pregnant with another man's child from outside of wedlock. But he loved her anyway, so they ended up getting married. Throughout the years, people noted that their family was very happy. They were in love. They ended up having 3 kids on their own. So she had a son. Oh, what is that? Whatever. So she had a son from this, this rando, and then she had 3 kids from Javier. And throughout the years, though, they saw a sudden, like, a decline in Javier's mental state. From the outside, he was, wealthy, successful businessman with a beautiful family. But on the inside, Inez noted that he had told her several times, if she would ask him, like, hey, how are you doing today, babe? He would be like, I'm all right. I'd be better if we were all dead. Literally. Like, I would be out if someone said that. I'd be like, what is your problem? But anyway, so that is noted that he, you know, had a sudden decline in kind of a mental state. We don't think that he was actually like, you know, crazy or anything like that, or like had mental illness, but his it was noted that his dissatisfaction with his family life and his businesses and his money was on the decline. What do you mean money? Like, he's an aristocrat, right? Like, they have money, they have family money from years. No. So the money that his family had was pretty much all dried up, and his money was from businesses that he would start, but then ultimately it resulted in failed businesses. So he wasn't a very successful businessman in reality, but in perception he was. So yeah, he was a fraud. Like, he did not actually have money, but it seemed to the world that he was very successful and that this marriage was very successful and he was happy, but in reality he was not. So one day, you know, this is his house in Nantes, France or whatever, and everyone knows them, right? Everyone knows that there are people always coming in and out. They're always kind of about in their like neighborhood and their community. But then a neighbor realized that, I have yet to like see these people for like a few days. So what's going on, you know? So she knocks on the door and nothing. Like, there's nobody that answers the door. There's not really, you know, there's no response. They had 2 dogs. This family had 2 dogs. The neighbor didn't even hear the 2 dogs, you know. So she's like, okay, that's a little weird. So she keeps an eye on the house to see, like, you know, if they come in or out. Well, it's also noted as this family's house is beautiful, and so the windows were always open. The windows were always open, you know, to let in the light and for people to see in the house and stuff like that. They were very, you know, again, had to keep up with appearances. But the neighbor noted that actually all the blinds in the house were drawn. Everybody in the house was, you know, it was drawn. All the lights were off. All the window things were drawn down and stuff. So this was very unusual. So after the first attempt at contact, you know, again, the neighbor was like, I'm gonna keep an eye on this house, whatever. A few days later, no movement, nothing. So she ended up calling the police because she thought that this was really odd, that, you know, I haven't seen any activity. This is not normal. They're, you know, people that are very much active in their community, in the church, stuff like that. So the cops come and try and knock on the door and they get nothing. So the cops are like, okay, well, we're just gonna leave it. And then the next day the cops come and they ended up going into the house for like worry, and they were like, yo, something's weird. So they go in the house and they see that all of the pictures on the wall had been taken down. And then they see that there's really, all the furniture has been left, like if it was frozen in time. But you know how like there was a cup on the table, like frozen in time, right? But all the pictures were taken down. So then they go into Javier, or I gotta keep saying Javier. Is it Javier? Xavier's, is it Javier? I think that's literally the same name, just pronounced differently. Anyway, Xavier's, you know, Xaveiver, Javier, right? Xavier, whatever. Anyways, they realize, so there's this letter on, you know, Xavier's desk that says that him and the family have been taken into custody of the United States DEA. So he was an informant for the United States Drug Administration, whatever, DEA. and that him and his family were placed into witness protection because they're going to be working for the United States government as like a DEA informant, you know? So the cops are like, this is fucking weird. So they ended up trying to get in contact with like Interpol and like, you know, to verify this, but no one could verify that this was true or not. So they searched the house. They really found nothing. They found, you know, everything seemed pretty normal for the most part, except for the pictures being taken. But everything else was, you know, pretty normal. But they thought this was weird. And they never, like, I have to put powder under my eyes because this shit is going too far. They never was able to verify this story. So they thought, okay, we're gonna come back the next day and check on this. So the next day, and they thought it was just very odd. So they come back 3 to 4 times more, just searching the house to see if there's any clues, if anything, they missed anything. They brought in dogs to see if there's any clues of, you know, where this family could have gone. So finally, on the final day, this was like April 12th or April 11th, they bring in some dogs, some hounds, you know, cute little dogs, and they finally they go to the back, and there's like a terrace, and under the terrace, one of the officers noticed that there was some fresh terrain, like there was some freshly dug up ground. So she was like, odd. Like, this had to be within the last, like, 2-3 weeks. So the officer, you know, she kind of digs around there. The dogs kind of notice something as well. So she digs around there. And what she finds is 2 garbage bags. One of the garbage bags had the bodies of his wife, Inez, and their 3 children that they had together. And they were relatively young. One was as young as 13, I believe, and the oldest was off in college, so he was about like 20. And so, and then in the second bag, so in the first bag, it was the family, it was the wife, their 3 kids together, and the 2 dogs. Why you gotta kill the dogs? Why? Oh, I don't want to ruin anything. Okay, and then in the second bag, it was the eldest. So it was his eldest son. So his biological son in that second bag. And then in the first bag, it was the kid from the other dad and their 2 kids together. You get it? So, sorry, that was so weird the way I just explained that. So then they realized who's missing. Xavier. So they ended up, you know, exhuming the bodies from the ground and doing an autopsy. And what they found was that the second son, which is Javier's like eldest son, his first son, he was killed after the 2 the other bodies. So the oldest son, which was not his kid, the 2 other kids, and the wife and the dogs, they were all killed on the same day. And then his oldest son, which I should be bringing in names. Anyways, his oldest son was killed shortly after that. So they are like prime suspects, Javier, because he is gone, leaving this letter about the DEA, but he is not like, but he didn't like, but he's not dead. Leaving this letter about the DA, which they can't confirm, and then his whole family is like there. So they ended up investigating, and what they found was that the oldest son, so his son that was left, so his son, which was away in college, I believe in Versailles, he was called by his father, and this is according to the roommate. He was called by his father saying that his mother had been in an accident, and so to come home. And this time he was, I believe, yeah, he was like in, yeah, he was in like class and stuff, and he ends up going home, and he was told that, you know, they're not gonna go visit the mother in the hospital because she's tired or whatever. And what the investigators found, that there was hesitation in killing the son, possibly because once the oldest son is gone, then this lineage, this royal lineage, would be over because they were the last of, you know, their kind. But, you know, he was killed. The entire family was killed by a shotgun, 22 caliber. I don't even know if that's real, but I know it was a shotgun to the back of the head, execution style, and then buried. Eventually, the manhunt for Javier went underway. So they contacted Interpol. They, you know, shut down all of the borders, and they tried, you know, to catch this man. What they found, however, is that Javier had about a week, you know, a week ahead of them. Like, they were a week behind. So at this point, they were able to track his, like, his credit cards and stuff like that. And they found that he went on quite a tour. He went to, so he traveled the coast of France. So his city was like up here, that he traveled this. And what they found was that Javier had a personal connection to all of the places he stopped. At one point, it was like, he had a personal connection to each city. It was almost like a goodbye tour, if you will. So this is where the mystery part comes in. On the end of April, I promise I'll be more researched next time. I'm just, you know, we're just chatting. At the end of April, they found that Javier, they caught him on a camera that is pointed outside of these, like, kind of foresty, like, mountain places in the south of France. So what they saw was that Javier had looked into the camera and waved goodbye. He was like, goodbye, goodbye. So according to their friends, he was never suicidal. What came out after, you know, this, so what had finally came out, because the friends were all like, no, it couldn't have been Javier. Like, they were so adamant, you know, they were like, he probably was kidnapped, or maybe he was killed somewhere else. There was just like a lot of doubt because of Javier having such ties to the community. And what was finally revealed was that Javier was in fact in a lot of financial turmoil. Him and his wife were pretty much on the outs because of it. And so that kind of, again, led to the conclusion that Javier did it, or he had something to do with these deaths of his family. So like I was saying earlier, he was kind of on his victory tour or goodbye tour in the south of France. His credit cards kind of tracked him to all of these kind of beautiful landmarks in France. Like, but the thing is that the FBI was, I guess not, it wouldn't be the FBI, but, you know, the French authorities were behind. They were always behind Javier because it took them such a long time to, you know, figure out what was actually going on with the family. So then, like I said, they actually caught him on camera walking out into the desert, into this like wilderness. It was like kind of unprecedented to even go out there, due to the fact that there was just a lot of mountains. There was a lot of, like, you know, areas that were really dangerous, animals, like stuff like that. And so he was caught waving goodbye on the camera. So many people believe that he went into that forest and committed suicide. That because of where he was going towards the end of his, because of all the spots that he was going to, he, you know, committed suicide. He was going to all the places that, you know, gave him, like, he had memories at and stuff like that. So therefore, that was him, you know, just saying goodbye, and therefore he went into that forest to commit suicide. There were other people. Okay, so let me tell you why there was doubt. So with the police, when they finally caught that on camera and they were able to track him down to that area, they sent out a search party into the woods or into that terrain in order to try and find him. And they spent days, like hours and hours and days and weeks, looking for his body or some remains or just some kind of, you know, indication that he was in fact in that woods. They found nothing. They found no track marks. The dogs did not pick up a scent. They, you know, sorry, I'm trying to figure out which way this goes. They found nothing. They found no track marks. The dogs were not able to pick up a scent. There was no indication that he was ever in that forest. Weird, huh? So that led many people to believe that he, in fact, did not commit suicide, that he was possibly picked up or he escaped somehow. How though? There was no records of any like kind of plane or objects flying in that area. There was, you know, they contacted Interpol, which is, you know, like the international kind of police department, and they found that, you know, there was no connection to like this DEA or whatever the heck that he had said. And so Javier just vanished. Years later, there was said to have been a sighting of him in, I believe, the UK, and then another sighting of him possibly in the United States, but those were not confirmed. So that is the horrible story. They never found him. They never found his body. They never found anything. After he waved goodbye into that forest, he vanished into thin air. Never seen again. Never, like, he was supposedly spotted, but those were either, you know, conspiracy, or they were just like, you know, possible sightings, but it was just never confirmed. But yeah, that is the story of Javier and the House of Terror. Like I said, I kind of got all of this information secondhand from the show Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. And boy, let me tell you, this was possibly my favorite. No, it was my favorite episode on Unsolved Mysteries, because it's just, first of all, you got murder, which is so sad. This entire family. That's the thing about narcissists, is that, like, he has to be a narcissist. If you want to leave, if you want to kind of start your life over, escape, whatever, just do it. Why do you gotta kill your whole family? You know, why do you have to murder innocent people just because you fucked up? You weren't able to, like, you know, get out of debt or whatever the case is. Why do you have to drag these poor people down with you? So yeah, why do you have to drag people down with you? And then you kill the poor dogs on top of that. Like, what the hell the dogs got to do with anything? They are two beautiful black labs, I believe they were. Like, the cutest little dogs. And you had to kill them and kill your entire family on top of that. And they were kids. Like, they are legitimate. Them, like I was like I said, I think the oldest was like 2021. And so, like, dang, all these narcissists with family feel the need to kill the entire family on their way out. Like, why? So that was a terrible, horrible mystery. What do you I don't think he killed himself. Let me just put that out there. I really don't think he killed himself. I think that he escaped. I think that is possibly he got like a private plane to pick him up, or like a helicopter or something. Either way, he got away. What's wrong with me? There you go. Yeah, either way, he got away. I don't think that it was suicide. Absolutely not. How you not find a body? It could be, I mean, if it was suicide, then maybe like, I don't know, bears ate him and like, or animals ate him. I don't know, but it doesn't make sense to me that it's a suicide. I genuinely believe that he escaped somehow. And yeah, so that is the story of Javier. I said that shit like 3 times. But I kind of want to do these. Let me know if you like them. You know, obviously this has been done before. Bailey Sarian is like my hero, and I'm never gonna be able to like kind of do this the way she does it. But this is just for fun, just for me, because I am obsessed with true crime, murder mysteries, all of that stuff, and this is just something that I wanted to try out. So if you like it, please comment, like, and subscribe. And y'all, watch your back. You know, these people out here wilding. People are out here crazy. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like videos like this, again, like I said, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.